Good enough. It's not centered. It's not. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, though. But that's okay. Who cares? Who cares? I don't. Good morning. Good morning. I'm just getting so and arguing with my tripod. It happens. I don't. Who cares? If it wasn't entertaining, nobody would watch. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Old God's Meadery. I am just getting started. Just getting started. Where are we? We are August 8th already. Alright, I'm here. Good morning, welcome to the Old God's Meadery. I make mead every single week. I make a brand new batch of mead. Yesterday I went live. Last night I go live every Wednesday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I started a brand new batch of mead. I'm very excited about it. So those Wednesday batches are actually decided by TikTok subscribers. So if you really want your own mead, I ship you a bottle of it when it's all done. If I pick your flavor. Last night's was suggested by Dennis, a good buddy of mine that has been a subscriber for a long time. Suggested a Boston cream pie donut mead. So I made one. I started it last night. I'll repost that portion of the video in a little while later today. I'm doing awesome. How are you doing? I had a lot of fun, but I was up too late. I got not enough sleep, and I don't care. As you know, I don't care about sleep. But I had a lot of fun. Last night was a tremendous amount of fun. Boston cream donut mead. I don't know how it's going to turn out. The exact recipe, if you want to write it down before you see the video. 1 gallon water, 3 pounds honey. I used 4 ounces of roasted chocolate nibs and 2 ounces of sugar-free vanilla pudding. Good old Jello vanilla pudding. Manifest the good vibes. There is no better advice out there. Good morning. It should be an amazing day on that note. It is Thursday. I haven't been live on a Thursday for a while. I started a new job and I've been going through training. I will be going live almost every other Thursday. The schedule's going to be inconsistent for a little while as I get settled and some of the holidays and vacations approach. But don't worry, I am live every single Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm always, during that live, showing you a step of the mead making process. I'm either starting a brand new batch like I did last night, or racking a batch, which I'll be doing next week, or bottling a batch and trying it live to tell you what I think about it. So those rotate through. It's a lot of fun. Come back 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Wednesday. I also go live every Sunday morning about this time to see what you guys thought about my Saturday mead. Every single Saturday I come out with a brand new mead. Comes in one of 4 categories. My holidays meads is on a break right now. You won't see those until September, but I have 2 amazing holiday meads coming in September. But I've been doing that all year. There's a playlist going for that. I started with a peach mead. I made peach Bellini mead cocktails for New Year's Eve this past New Year's. Then I made a Valentine's Day mead. I made an Easter mead, Cinco de Mayo, Father's Day, Mother's Day, July 4th, I think is all of them. So lots of cool meads out there, so definitely check out those. I also have a pop culture series going. I started that with a very simplistic and easy to follow Skyrim mead that I did a couple weeks ago. If you don't know, Skyrim is one of the biggest video games of all time. It's somewhere upwards of like 80 million copies sold, which is just blows your mind. They have some mead recipes. They have a tremendous amount of written lore in the game. But they have some mead recipes. I simplified one of them so you can easily find the ingredients and replicate it yourself. So go back and watch that. Pop Culture Batch number 2 comes out this Saturday. It's influenced by Star Wars. I'm incredibly excited about it. I hope you enjoy it. Star Wars inspired mead coming this Saturday. There's Dennis. Hello. And then I was just talking about your Boston cream pie donut mead. And then as well, I have a Norse gods and goddesses meads category. I did this one for the goddess Freya, the Norse goddess Freya. Look at that. She's pretty. Freya is missing her husband and weeps tears of gold as she searches for him. When those tears hit the sea, they turn to amber. You may have heard amber referred to as Freya's tears before. That is a more common thing. But I made a mead that I hope is worthy, and I have another Norse god right around the corner. Not this week, next week, so stay tuned. I'm going to be making a mead that I hope is worthy of Boulder's attention, so stay tuned. We'll see how that one turns out. I'm very excited. And then I have a 13 colonies meads, which I just did last week. I'm doing one mead per the original 13 colonies of the United States. If you guys watched any of my older content through 2023, all I did were meads based on countries and cultures from all around the world. It's what I'm incredibly passionate about and really studying flavors. But I'm honing in on the homeland. So I am doing one mead per state. I started that with Virginia last week and made a peanut mead. It's right here. Peanut mead. Peanut mead. It's fantastic. It made the whole room smell like peanuts when I spilled it, and it's delicious. It's delicious. You may have had some like peanut whiskey, peanut butter whiskey. That's a really like rising popularity thing. It has that flavor, and it's pretty easy to do. I showed you exactly how to do it for free, so check that video out. Yeah, it's so exciting. New category every week. It's really pumped me up, and I get incredibly excited. This Saturday, just in 2 days, your Star Wars mead. Andrew, I may have missed the first part of your question. Started my first mead 3 days ago. Congratulations. I'm scrolling through. Fermented really well for the first 24 hours. What yeast did you use? Let's start there. What yeast did you use? Yeast is one of those things, especially when I was starting out, I really underestimated how impactful it is on your final product. But there are many different yeast strands. They all act different. They all have different temperature tolerances, different alcohol tolerances, and different flavor palettes by the end. Well, thank you, Dennis. So, depending on what yeast you use, I think we'll be able to come up with some kind of conclusion for you. But stopping doesn't necessarily mean EC1118. So, that is my favorite yeast. I don't use it anymore because it produces a dry mead. You're going to get something a little bit less sweet, but with a higher alcohol content. Though it is also a rapid yeast. It's incredibly fast. 24 hours is too fast. You should see that between 5 and 7 days would be my guess. You'll have some bubbles before it completely stops. Hello, Scott. Good morning. But I think somebody already suggested it too. Did you add any yeast nutrient? Because that can help the process as well. Good morning. For you guys that were here last night, I did manage to download the video. I will be editing it and reposting it later this morning. So last night's live is good to go. I just got to get it edited, and I will repost your Dennis's Boston cream donut mead. It should be exciting. Yeah, I would let it go. Let it go. You should be okay. I would say that you'll probably stop fermentation within a week. I would leave it for 2 at least. It's a rapid yeast. It's fast. 24 hours, like I said, is too fast. Is it bubbling at all? Like, did it just like go crazy and then slow down? Have a great day. I will see you next time. Good morning. If you're just jumping in, you're waiting for us to answer. Welcome to the Old God's Meadery, where I make mead every single week. Every single Saturday, I come out with a brand new mead. I don't miss Saturdays, and I don't replicate recipes. Every single one is brand new. Every single one. Batch 128 comes out this Saturday. Again, falls in one of 4 categories. Either pop culture, which is this week. I will show you some Star Wars mead Saturday. Should be awesome. Or it's Norse gods and goddesses, 13 colonies, or holidays. Those are your 4 categories that I'm rotating through right now. Yeah, let it go, Andrew. Let it go. Give it another week or so, even if it's slowed. If you want to do it the proper way, you can use a hydrometer and test the alcohol content if you did it at the beginning. If you didn't, don't worry about it. It's too late. But I would let it go. Give it another week. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. And then transfer it into a carboy. Dennis does have a good point. Like, if you had any kind of temperature change where it is, that could be one of the factors. I'm assuming that you've done it in like a house or a room or somewhere that the temperature has stayed consistent relatively. Okay, yeah. I would say it's just because you use the 1118. It's fast. It's a really fast yeast. It's my favorite yeast. Scott actually talked me out of using it. So, he's the bad guy. In all seriousness, I make a lot of mead, and I have to make my friends and family drink a lot of it at parties, and they prefer sweeter stuff. So I switched over to D47, but I prefer a drier mead. Hello, if you're just jumping in, I make mead. Mead is the oldest alcoholic beverage in the world. Older than beer, older than wine. Independently discovered by many different countries and cultures. The oldest evidence of mead is from southern Africa over 20,000 years ago. There's also evidence in ancient China about 10,000 years ago. Ancient Central America, and of course Northern Europe, where the Vikings traded it, made it super famous, and then did it better than everybody else. But what that means is, regardless of who you are or where you're from, your ancestors drank mead. And I think that's awesome. And it's something we all have in common. D47 is the most common. I'm not trying to go off on a tangent. And I dislike D47. I don't. It does produce a sweeter mead. But I don't like it. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun experiment. I think everybody dabbles into it when they get started mead making, trying a few different yeasts. I think there's even like a thing on Amazon where you can get like a 10-pack of like 10 different ones, if I remember correctly. So you can kind of just trial and error stuff until you find your palate or the palate you're looking for. I'll see you later, Dennis. Have an amazing Monday for you. But mead is made in almost identical fashion as wine. So if you're in the background and you're like, what is mead? It's made in almost same fashion, except we use honey for the fermentation process instead of grapes or other fruits. There are combinations, like you see in front of you, of everything in between. If it's going to be called a mead, it's supposed to be 51% or more sugar source from the honey. However, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I think you can call it mead if it has any honey in it. A good example of that people on Facebook hate, is this Bunranty mead. I found this at a liquor store back in March, and it's grown like crazy. You might be able to find this at your local store. Bunranty mead from Ireland. This is technically a white wine, if you ask anybody on Facebook. That's back sweetened with honey. It's fantastic. It's sweet. It's fantastic. People love it. It's like it's the same people that judge you for like spelling errors and punctuation. They'll tell you what your mead is supposed to be. Don't worry about it. Screw them. You're never going to meet them in real life anyway. And if you do, you'll probably never see them a second time. Who cares? Call it whatever you want to and have fun. Because if you're not having fun, you're not going to want to keep doing it. Do I do anything to stop fermentation process? Nope, absolutely not. So there are lots of methods, but I will give you a quick rundown of what I do. My main mission here on social media, on TikTok, is to explore the simplicity of mead making. And I know that's kind of like a double meaning, but I want to show people how incredibly easy it is to join this amazing hobby and community. I'm at 128 different recipes, as simplistic as you can make. Every single one you can replicate at home, except there's actually one. Remind me, I'll tell you why. There's one you can't replicate, but every other one you can replicate. It's incredibly easy. Therefore, there are several things that I do in the background that I do not do on the batches that you see. If I'm making a batch for my friends and family, I will use my hydrometer so I can tell them what alcohol content it is. I don't do that on any of the videos you see, though. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's a step in the process that I find frustrating, and it doesn't really lead to anything, except for bragging rights. You can pick up a bottle and go, this is 13%, this one's 13.5, this one is 14. I don't care. I don't care. I like to taste stuff and have fun. I would tell you that there's probably nobody on the planet that can have like a beer that's 12% and a beer that's 13% and tell you the difference anyway. Just saying. So I skip hydrometer steps completely. I also never back sweeten. That's something a little bit more controversial. If you're a mead maker, basically there's a fermentation process we call the primary, and then you transfer things over into what we call a secondary, where it sits for a few months and clarifies. You can back sweeten at that step, so that basically reintroduces more sugars to make it a sweeter mead. That's incredibly common. I would say 90-95% of mead makers do that part of the process. I do not. Again, I'm just trying to express the simplicity of mead making. So everything that you see that goes into my initial 2-gallon fermenting bucket is all that I ever put into it. On top of those things, there are also a couple methods and a couple chemicals that you can add in, or additives, to help the process. There's some things that help stop yeast. There's some things that help stop or that help clarify faster. You can cold crash, for instance. You can put it in a cold environment, and theoretically particles will slow down and drop. I don't do any of that. Every single thing I do is just with time. So a vast majority of the meads that you see ferment for a couple weeks. I usually leave them between 3 and 4 in the fermenting bucket. And then I transfer them where they sit for between 3 and 5 months in a glass carboy. That's where you get clarity. So, if you've seen any of the videos, any of them, stuff's not clear when you transfer it. It's almost always gross looking. So, you have to just be patient. You can accelerate stuff. Like I said, there's some chemicals. I even own a few. But I don't use them. Not a fan of them. I just enjoy time. However, you need one of two things if you're going to be a mead maker. You have to be patient. It's a given. Mead making takes a long time. Or if you're like me and you're not patient, you have to own a lot of equipment. Over time, I've expanded my equipment that allows me to make one batch per week. I basically have several sets of carboys that I rotate through. Because stuff still sits for 3 to 5 months, I just make it long in advance. The videos that you see are usually recorded almost 6 months before you see the beginning of them, up until the bottling process, where it's more real time. How do you know when it went bad? The same thing that I would say if you were tasting a food. Make sure it doesn't stink. That's the first indicator. And if it tastes gross, don't drink it. Other than that, I don't care. Mead, if you're doing it, well, if you watch the fermentation process, it does have an alcohol content in it. Anytime you introduce alcohol in anything, it makes it very difficult for other things to grow. So if you see anything like mold or something on there, that means there either wasn't very much alcohol, or you definitely don't want to touch that, because that's a really strong mold. Don't touch it. But I'm one of those, 5-second rule guys. You drop it in the dirt, eat it anyway, taste it. If it tastes gross, spit it out. If it looks gross, you have a decision to make. You have a decision to make. Be careful. But I can tell you that I've produced some stuff that's looked horrendous, especially in the transfer process. Sometimes it looks gross. When you open up a bucket, I show that portion of the video every single Saturday where I first crack open the bucket. I video inside of it so you can see how gross it can be. But there's been some batches where I questioned if they were even going to clarify or turn out. So I would say that's subjective. Like anything else, if you add anything into it, I don't see how it couldn't change the flavor. But you'll get diehards that do it all the time that say, no, it doesn't touch anything. Logically, if you introduce anything at all, it theoretically would change at least the volume, if not the flavor. I don't know. I'm not the right guy to ask for that because I don't use it. But on that note, if Scott is still here, Scott is an amazing mentor of mine. He's an amazing mead maker. Started a Discord. There's a link up in my link tree in my profile. If you jump in the Discord, it's a free place and a safe place to go and ask lots of mead questions. There's mead makers of every skill level over there, including behind the scene pictures, recipes. All of it's free. There is equipment list for stuff. There he is right there. There's a link directly in his profile as well. A yeast chart. He even put a commercial page together so you could go and buy meads from meaderies that we've heard about from all over the country and get it shipped straight to your house. So if you're brand new to mead and you want to try it, there's a list over there, a huge list of things, or meaderies where you can order from. My favorite, if I'm going to suggest anything, is this one, Medieval Mead. It's from a winery called Linganore Wine Cellars in Maryland. This bottle's like $15. You can't beat it. You'll pay for shipping too, but you'll get a nice, fantastic introduction to mead. They actually supply our Maryland Renaissance Festival with this mead every year. It's fantastic. This is also from Renfest. You're the second person that's mentioned that. Not today, but like maybe a month or two ago. Somebody mentioned it. And like, I have one just like that from Renaissance Festival in like Washington State. And I'm like, all right, they tricked me. I thought that this was more of a local thing. It's not. I think there's probably some company in the Philippines or something that makes these awesome mugs. And then all the Renaissance festivals buy them. So... that's funny. I mean, it does have, like, on this side, it's like the little Maryland Renaissance stamp, so I guess that's probably different per Renfest you're going to, but, and Scott has one too, from the Michigan Renfest. Speaking of that, if you want to be entertained, September 7th and 8th, I'm going to Michigan to hang out with Scott in the Renfest. It's going to be hysterical. There's going to be some lives. There's going to be some videos. I don't even know how I'm going to manage it yet. I'm going to start taking notes soon, though. Well, yeah, we're going to get a bigger group of people trying my meads. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to be drinking mead together and having fun. It's funny. We all got tricked. But that's okay. I'm sure you bought it the same way I did. They're like, can I get a glass of mead, please? And they're like, sure. Would you like to upgrade to our mug for $5 more? And I'm like, hell yeah, I do. That's where I got mine. September 7th and 8th. It's a Saturday, Sunday at the Renfest. What's the theme that week, Mr. Scott? Oh, with the season pass, that's probably even better. Do you get, like, refills? Or at least discounted refills? Because then it's so worth it. I mean, it's worth it anyway. I use it all the time to drink coffee out of. I love it because it's, like, it's stable. It's stable as hell. It's a bigger bottom. You put it, it's like, it's not moving. You can't tip this thing over. Alright, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. As we get a little bit closer, I'm getting way more details. And like I said, I'm gonna write down a little agenda. I know Scott drinking pizza mead is a video that I want to record. Other than that, I'll just have a wish list and we'll wing it. We'll wing it. Good morning if you're just jumping in. Welcome to the Old God's Meadery. We had a blast last night. I made some Boston cream donut mead live last night. I will be reposting that chunk of the video in a little while. It is downloaded successfully, so I just have to edit it out and I'll get it up as soon as I can. And I'm incredibly intrigued by it. It was suggested by Dennis, who was here a little while ago, and yeah, it's gonna be something. I think we'll see. And then this coming Saturday is back to the pop culture series. I can't wait to show you my Star Wars inspired mead. Wonders of the World. All right. That sounds like a blast. I can't wait. It's not going to hurt for me to have a weekend having some fun. I need it, and I'm very excited about it. Star Wars 1 you'll see Saturday. You'll see Saturday. So 2 Star Wars questions in a row. So I make a pop culture series of meads. I have a pop culture pinned post up on TikTok. If you have anything that's inspired you, whether it's movies, TV shows, video games, books, whatever it is, put a comment in there. If I choose your mead or your idea, your inspiration, I will be influenced to make a mead out of it, and I'll ship you a bottle of it for free when it's all done. Star Wars was suggested by several people right off the bat, but the very first one was a man named JB Volt. So I'll tag him in Saturday's videos, and I'll be shipping him a bottle of it when it's all done. Well, it is all done. You just don't know it yet. But yeah, you'll see it Saturday. So if you have any cool ideas, scroll through that pinned post. I am going to repost that post probably later this week. Just redo it and then kind of clear it out because I have a list. The next the last pop culture mead that I started will be out January 4th, I think is the date. So you might wait a little while, but it'll be worth it, I promise. Yeah, I am gonna. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna be the same way at the Renfest. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to segregate some money to just be like, okay, this is what you can spend, and don't spend any more. Because if not, if I don't try to control myself, it'll be bad. But hey, YOLO. Good morning if you're just jumping in. Welcome to the Old God's Meadery. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Should be an amazing day. We're actually getting some rain finally here on the East Coast. The remnants of the hurricane that came through the south. It's supposed to rain pretty much nonstop all day today and tomorrow. So yeah, I know. And I know it will be flowing. I'm incredibly excited to meet as many people as I can and just socialize. Just socialize. I love it, and it's not, you don't get to do stuff like this very often. So I'm incredibly grateful. I'm incredibly thankful that Scott invited me up. I can't wait. Yeah, that's because Michigan is silly. I don't want to get in this argument with you again. It's too cold and it's silly. It's too far away. It's too far north. I want to go south. South. I don't ever want to see snow. Ever. Maybe in a picture. Or, some of my Maryland friends complaining about it on Facebook. That's it. That's the only time I want to see snow. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I've never been to Michigan. I don't think. If I have, it's been like a layover or something in the airport. I have never been there by choice. So this will be my first time. Should be fun. It should be fun. I am excited to eat. I need to diet now, but I know it's only a few weeks, so maybe I should just diet now and get ready for that weekend. I over the last couple months, I've gained like significant weight. I don't know if you can see it. It bothers me every time I'm on a live though. Right across the pond. 1,000 miles away. All right, I know when I say that Michigan is silly, I'm gonna offend people. And good morning, Mr. Terry. But it's silly. It is. It's too far north. Nope. Nope. You only go there if you like to be cold. That's it. That's the only reason to go to Michigan, or to see Scott. And I would tell you, if Scott invited me up in like December, I'd be like, sorry, buddy, I got a doctor's appointment that day. Can't do it. I'd lie to him. That's what I'd say. See, Tennessee. Tennessee, I actually just discovered a couple years ago. And I'm going back at the end of September for it's not really for leisure. My daughter has something that we got to do down there, and it's going to be fun. Tennessee is so incredibly welcoming and warm. It was warmer there, but still seasonal. You still get seasons. So I'm interested in food. I'm a big foodie. What would you suggest? Like, is there a Michigan, like, something I should care about from Michigan? Food-wise? It's not going to be as good as, like, Nashville chicken. I can tell you that. That's one of, like, that's top-tier food for me. Nashville hot chicken. From Hattie B's. Chopped beef. All right. I can definitely get down with that. I am going to have to lose some weight first, though. Going to have to lose some weight. Maybe I'll start jogging or something. Beef tartare. I mean, I've never had it. In fact, the only reason why I even know what it is because of that episode of Mr. Bean, and I might be aging myself there. But if you haven't seen the episode of Mr. Bean where he gets a steak tartare, you're missing out. I'd try it. I'm not gonna lie, I'd try it. I'd try pretty much any food. I had fish eyes in Chinatown in Boston a couple years back. Grossest thing I've ever eaten. But I tried it. Fish eyes. I don't know. I don't even know what I was thinking, but I did it. Anyway, good morning, everyone. We're down to the nit and gritty here. Oh, I mean, I would feel bad, but I would try that too. When you transfer the secondary vessel, oh no, always put an airlock on it. You never know. I always keep airlocks on it through the whole process because you never know. There are yeast dissolved into liquid, even if it's crystal clear. There's stuff dissolved in there, and you'll see that over time. As it sits for a couple months, you'll start getting layers of stuff at the bottom. That's from the particles you couldn't see during the transfer process. They're in there. So if for any reason the yeast reactivates or just gets kicked up or gets excited again and starts fermenting, you could create what we call a bottle bomb if you seal it. So always put an airlock on it. That being said, if you're going to have an airlock sit for a few months, you always want to check it periodically to make sure that it still has some kind of level of liquid in it. I typically use water, but there's other people out there that use like vodka or sanitizer. But just keep an eye on your airlock. Check it like once every other week or every few weeks or so, just to make sure there's liquid in it. Pop when they bite them. Memories. Gross. It's gonna ruin my coffee talking about this again. Anyway. Can you fix a mead that's oxidized? So I take that question as a little. Good morning, Tall Trey. It's been so long. How are you? I take that question a little personal. I'm gonna tell you why. When I first started out, long before I started doing stuff on social media, I was making mead, and I joined a couple of Facebook groups, and was asking very basic questions, and they're mean. Don't join Facebook groups. If you do, do it just to like look at pictures. I would go as far as, some of the bigger ones, even the admins are like this. If you ask a question, it's a legit question, and you get 15 people saying, use the search bar. It's not an environment you want to be in. It's not an environment you're going to get great answers from. And it's not an environment you even want to ask questions in. So it deters people from asking questions. Anyway, I got scolded for using a hand pump siphon to transfer into my bottles. I gravity into the carboy, so in the transfer process, I will hand pump a couple times and let gravity take over and fill my carboy that way. But when I'm doing actual bottles, I remove the regulator from the mini siphon. I like to hand pump it because I just like to control it. It's easier to do with two hands. It's just the way I've always done it. It's the way I like to do it. And the number one thing was like, you're going to oxidize your mead. You're going to oxidize it. So much oxygen going in there. It's a bottle. It's 750 milliliters. How much oxygen could I possibly be pumping in there? I don't know. So I would say, my opinion, oxidation is only an issue if you're making large vats of mead. If you're not, I think you're going to be fine. So what makes you think it's oxidized? Because I'm willing to bet it's probably not. Brain surgery this morning. You, did you come here for test subjects? Because I'm offended. And honored. It's yeah. I mean, it's literally not brain surgery. It's just like, just have fun. It turned grayish brown color in the secondary. I don't. What's the flavor? Like what's the ingredients? I'm willing to guess it's not oxidation, but again, I'm no expert in that. I just take it personally because those people are mean. Dragon fruit, I would say that's probably normal. I made a dragon fruit. It ended up kind of pinkish, I think, by the end of it, and delicious. But dragon fruit's one of those things, I get sidetracked. It's one of those things you either like it or don't like it. But and Scott found out there's a big variety of actual dragon fruits too. Sidetracked. How long has it been sitting? I would say, once it clarifies, it's not going to be gray. I would run with it. I personally would run with it. Yeah, I would say it's fine. My personal opinion, it's probably going to be fantastic even. in the floor. I'm not going to laugh at that because I just did that last week with the peanut mead. I am not going live tonight. I go live consistently every single Wednesday. And every single Sunday, every Wednesday 9 p.m., every single Sunday 7 a.m. I do go live sporadically outside of that. Like Thursday mornings are relatively typical, maybe every other week or so you can expect. And then any live you see outside of that is because I either have some extra time off or I'm ahead of schedule, which I'm almost never. I might have some spare time tonight, but I don't have anything scheduled. It depends on how much I get done today. I have to finish editing a few videos to get ready for this weekend, and I need to kind of plot out my schedule for next week. And if I get those two things done, I might go live tonight. Once I start doing this as a career, though, which I hope is sooner than later, I'll be live all the time. I'll put a permanent schedule out and go live daily. But right now, I got to bring in the paychecks from the old gig. I actually have, all teasers aside, I have, it's loose, but I have my dream schedule. If I did this as a living, I would be making way more mead. We would increase the batches we do. I'd be making more than one a week. It'd probably be 2 a week. And that's just because of, I don't think I'd be able to handle the organization beyond that. I did make a watermelon mead. So last year, 2023, every single batch of mead I did was inspired by a different country and culture from around the world. I did Ukraine before it got crazy and political, so I wasn't trying to jump on any train. It was before that. They are famous for their watermelons. I don't know if you know that about Ukraine, but they have like a specific like strand of watermelon that are rounder and sweeter and brighter than what we have here in the United States. But inspired by that, I made a watermelon mead that went nuts. I completely underestimated the quantity of water that's in a watermelon. It went nuts. Started bubbling out the airlock within hours. I had to clear it a few times through the process, but it turned into a phenomenal mead by the end. Fantastic mead. And I'm not even a huge fan of watermelon. Like the actual, I like watermelon flavored stuff, like candies. I love those. But actual watermelon, I'm not a huge fan of. But it turned out great. You can't go wrong with it. Incredibly easy. Watch it like crazy or use less water. I used a gallon of water and then pretty much a whole watermelon. And so it was up there. There was probably this much headspace or so in my 2-gallon fermenting bucket. But the yeast immediately went nuts. Nuts. It loves it. Hello, welcome to the Old God's Meadery. This Saturday, and every Saturday, I come out with a brand new batch of mead. Every single Saturday, brand new recipe. I don't miss Saturdays. I don't replicate recipes. Every single one is brand new that I've never done before. It's all experiments on my side. Batch 128 comes out this Saturday, and it is in my pop culture series. This Saturday, my Star Wars mead. I can't wait to show you. Should be a lot of fun. I hope I made some fans proud with it. I think it's going to be really cool, though, and I'm excited. Can't wait. Pop culture meads. I'm having a lot of fun with this. For those you don't know, I just started a brand new schedule just over a month ago where I'm rotating 4 new categories. My holidays meads is on Parked right now. It will return in September, but so far, that's just because there's no major holidays in August. And I really wanted to get a faster start on the other 3 categories that I just started. So, holidays meads, you've seen some this year. It's staying. It's the only category staying. I'm also doing 13 colonies meads. If you were here last week, you saw my peanut mead inspired by Virginia. It's right here. Fantastic. I'm really proud of this one. It came out fantastic. Smells and tastes like peanuts. It's like a peanut butter mead. It's fantastic. Easy to make. You can do it yourself. Um, 13 colonies mead, so I'll be doing one per the original 13 states. And if people like those, if it does well, I'll do the rest of the United States over time. Um, I also, the pop culture series, like I said, Star Wars comes out this Saturday, so it should be a lot of fun. That rotates through every few weeks. If you want to get in on that, there's a pin post up in my TikTok profile. It's called Pop Culture. Jump in it, suggest some awesome meads. And if I pick yours, I will send you a bottle of it. This one, Star Wars, was suggested by JB Volt. So I'll be sending him a bottle this weekend. And yeah, I'm still here. What do you want? Like, are you like on break or something? Again? You take a lot of breaks. Uh, just digging. And then my Norse gods and goddesses meads. I started that with my Freya mead. And it's beautiful. This is a mead for the goddess Freya. I hope she loves it. I think she does. But Boulder is the next Norse god, so I'll teach you a little bit of what I've learned about the god Boulder, and then I'll show you a mead that I hope is worthy of his attention. Skull! Take a lot of praise. How did I get started with doing all this? I really appreciate that. Thank you. The journey's been long. I started in about 2016. I got, as I think most men at some point in their life, and women, they hit a point where they really start trying to discover themselves. And usually that goes through some kind of family tree or understanding history of things. I got incredibly engrossed in my family's lineage. And it turns out we are almost exclusively from Northern Europe. Like 90% so. And traced family back there and everything. It was really cool. That, of course, got me involved into the Viking culture, in which I was like, mead is the coolest thing ever. Then my buddies bought me a gift card because I started talking about it so much to a brewery supply store that we have here in Maryland. So I went out and bought my first bucket, my first carboy, a mini siphon, and some airlocks, and started making mead. And then, as I was waiting for mead, I got incredibly intrigued with the history of mead itself. I very quickly realized Vikings not only weren't the first, they were one of the last to discover mead. It was independently discovered by many different countries and cultures. The oldest is from China, and we just found that out this year. Archaeologists uncovered some stuff 20,000 years ago, some evidence of fermented honey in southern Africa over 20,000 years ago. But before that, it was believed about 10,000 years ago in China. So, like, that got me incredibly intrigued. So I started studying different countries and cultures, and I was like, I'm going to start making lots of mead. Over time, my equipment expanded because I'm not patient, so I ended up buying lots of carboys so I can make more mead. And that led me to, I want to start a social media account to share my passion. So I started making meads inspired by different countries and cultures from all over the world. I started that in late 2022. All the way through 2023 is what I did. And then I started a brand new series of meads just recently. This year I started like the Holidays Mead series. I did a color series where I was really trying to replicate colors. And I had a lot of fun with that, but I was like, it's not really speaking, it's not what people want to see. So I took some polls, I got some opinions, and now we've settled in 4 categories that I'm going to rotate through now. Like I said, my holidays meads was a lot of fun. I have some really great holidays, but if you've missed any this year, I did New Year's, I did Valentine's Day, I did St. Patrick's Day, I did Easter, I did Cinco de Mayo, I did Mother's Day, I did Father's Day, and I did July 4th. So go back and watch all those amazing meads. But I have far more in the works already, so stay tuned. 13 Colonies Meads, Norse Gods and Goddesses Mead, and then my pop culture series. So that's how I got started. I'm incredibly passionate about learning about the history of things and trying to understand palates. So 10 meads going. That's crazy. If you don't know Dennis, he's an amazing mead mentor of mine. He is more recently started, and he's incredibly modest, but he's making some amazing meads already. Give Dennis a follow. It's crazy. Like, he jumped off a cliff, and he's already making stuff far more complicated than what I do. And he's trying to get to 1,000 followers so he can go live. That's what I heard. Whew, that was a story, huh? If I missed any of your questions, ask them again. There's no better compliment. Thank you so much. And feel free, you can, I can't speak for Dennis, but I can speak for Scott because he said this before. If you ever have any questions or you get stuck or need some advice, I answer 100% of my direct messages. I know Scott does too. I don't always know the answer, but I do know a huge community of awesome mead makers that I can find the answer, and we can brainstorm it together. Will you be doing a tier mead? Maybe. I don't like to give stuff away. It'll be next year. I'll give it away. It is, I'm trying to give you like a rough, it'll be next year. Like a few, maybe several months in the next year, but it's on my list, yes. I don't think it's going bad. Like, it should have enough alcohol content. Like, it should deter anything weird from growing in it. What color is weird? Without giving anything away, I have a bunch of Norse meads planned, and that's the second to last one. So it's a little bit further out, but don't worry, it's on the list. Now it's brown. Are you talking about your Mountain Dew one? I can't speak for that. I have no idea. My guess would be it's okay, just because alcohol content wise it should be. I don't know though. All right, bye Dennis. I'll see you again. Alright guys, we're approaching 8 o'clock. I'm going to start wrapping stuff up and get some videos edited before my day gets crazy busy. Star Wars mead this Saturday, and then the Norse God Boulder mead next Saturday. Should be amazing. And then the week after that, we're going back to our 13 Colonies meads. I will be showing you my New York inspired mead. Hopefully I don't piss anybody off. We'll see. What else? So stay tuned. Yeah, those are the next 3 meads coming up, and it'll be a lot of fun. I will be live again Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to see what you guys thought of the Star Wars mead. Should be awesome. Yeah, go back and watch all the previous stuff. That's what really helps me out. Make sure and comment on stuff, share it, like it. If you see any videos that are posted and it's in the first 30 minutes, definitely comment and share those. That's what helps the TikTok algorithm. If it's past 30 minutes, I'd still appreciate it because I'll see it. But if it's really important, the first 30 minutes. And what else I got? I think that's it. Thank you so much for letting me be here. I can't wait to show you guys what's in store. I have so many great meads in the pipeline. I hope you like all of them. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing day. Go out of your way and make somebody smile today. The world needs to be a better place. There's a lot of controversy right now, and on top of that, in the United States, it's an election year, which means everybody hates each other. Don't fall for it. They're trying to divide us. Don't do it. You should like people. If not, try. Just fake it until you make it. I'll see you guys all real soon. Skull.